Turkey, officially the Republic of Turkey, is a country mainly on the Anatolian Peninsula in West Asia, with a smaller part called East Thrace on the Balkan Peninsula in Southeast Europe. It borders the Black Sea to the north, Georgia to the northeast, Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Iran to the east, Iraq to the southeast, Syria and the Mediterranean Sea to the south, the Aegean Sea to the west, and Greece and Bulgaria to the northwest. Cyprus is off the south coast. Most of the country's citizens are ethnic Turks, while Kurds are the largest ethnic minority. Ankara is Turkey's capital and second largest city, while Istanbul is its largest city and economic and financial center, as well as the largest city in Europe. Human settlement in the area began in the late Paleolithic period. Home to important Neolithic sites like Göbekli Tepe, present-day Turkey was part of one of the centers of the agricultural revolution and was inhabited by ancient civilizations including the Hattans, Anatolian peoples, Thracians, Greeks, Assyrians, and Persians. Following the conquests of Alexander the Great, most of the ancient Anatolian regions were culturally Hellenized. This continued during the Byzantine era. The Seljuk Turks began migrating to Anatolia in the 11th century, which started the Turkification process. The Seljuk Sultanate of Rum ruled Anatolia until the Mongol invasion in 1243, when it disintegrated into small Turkish principalities. Beginning in the late 13th century, the Ottomans united the principalities and conquered the Balkans. After Mehmed II conquered Constantinople, now Istanbul, in 1453, Ottoman expansion continued under Selim I. During the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman Empire became a global power. From the late 18th century onwards, the empire's power and territory declined. Mahmud II started a period of modernization in the early 19th century. The Young Turk Revolution of 1908 restricted the authority of the Sultan and restored the Ottoman Parliament. The three pashas took control with the 1913 coup d'etat, and the Ottoman Empire entered World War I as one of the Central Powers in 1914. During the war, the Ottoman government committed genocides against its Armenian, Greek, and Assyrian subjects. After its defeat in the war, the Ottoman Empire was partitioned. The Turkish War of Independence against the occupying Allied powers resulted in the abolition of the Sultanate on November 1, 1922, the signing of the Treaty of Lausanne on July 24, 1923, and the proclamation of a republic on October 29, 1923, modeled on the reforms initiated by the country's first president, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. Turkey is a newly industrialized country and a founding member of the OECD and G20. Its economy currently ranks 17th largest in the world by nominal GDP and 11th largest by PPP. With a geopolitically significant location, Turkey is a regional power and an early member of NATO. Turkey joined the EU Customs Union in 1995 and started accession negotiations with the European Union in 2005. It is also a member of the Council of Europe, Organization of Islamic Cooperation, Turksoy, and Organization of Turkic States. Home to 21 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Turkey is the fourth most visited country in the world. The name Turkey appears in Western sources after the late 11th century, referring to the Seljuk-controlled lands in Anatolia and the Near East. European writers started using Turkey for the Anatolian Plateau by the end of the 12th century. The English name Turkey, from medieval Latin Turkia/Turkia, means land of the Turks. Middle English usage of Turkey is evidenced in Geoffrey Chaucer's The Book of the Duchess, circa 1369. The modern spelling Turkey dates back to at least 1719. The name Turkey has been used in the texts of numerous international treaties to define the Ottoman Empire. In Byzantine sources, the name Turkiya, Greek, tau omicron upsilon rho kappa alpha, was used for defining two medieval states, Hungary, Western Turkiya, and Khazaria, Eastern Turkiya. With the Treaty of Alexandropol, the name Turkiya entered international documents for the first time. In the treaty signed with Afghanistan in 1921, the expression Devletaya Liai Turkiye, sublime Turkish state, was used, likened to the Ottoman Empire's name. In December 2021, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan issued a circular calling for exports to be labeled Made in Turkey. The circular also stated that in relation to other governmental communications, the necessary sensitivity will be shown on the use of the phrase Turkiye instead of phrases such as Turkey in English. The reason given was that Turkiye represents and expresses the culture, civilization, and values of the Turkish nation in the best way. In May 2022, the Turkish government requested the United Nations and other international organizations to use Turkiye officially in English, which the UN immediately agreed to do. The Anatolian Peninsula, comprising most of modern Turkey, has been inhabited by modern humans since the late Paleolithic period. The European part of Turkey, called Eastern Thrace, has been inhabited since at least 40,000 years ago and is known to have been in the Neolithic era by about 6000 BC. The spread of agriculture from the Middle East to Europe was strongly correlated with the migration of non-Indo-European peoples who lived in Anatolia as early as c. 2300 BC. Indo-European Hittites came to Anatolia and gradually absorbed the Hattans and Hurrians c. 2000, c. 1700 BC. Various other ancient Anatolian populations have also lived in Anatolia, from at least the Neolithic until the Hellenistic period. Many of these peoples spoke the Anatolian languages, a branch of the larger Indo-European language family. Given the antiquity of the Indo-European Hittite and Luwian languages, some scholars have proposed Anatolia as the hypothetical center from which the Indo-European languages radiated. The first empire in the area was founded by the Hittites, from the 18th through the 13th centuries BC. The Assyrians conquered and settled parts of southeastern Turkey as early as 1950 be called Haf. They have remained a minority in the region following the collapse of the Hittite Empire c. 1180 BC. The Phrygians, an Indo-European people, achieved ascendancy in Anatolia until their kingdom was destroyed by the Sumerians in c. 695 BC. The most powerful of Phrygia's successor states were Lydia, Caria and Lycia. Assyrian king Shalmaneser I, 1263–1234 BC, recorded a campaign in which he subdued the entire territory of Urartu. Urartu re-emerged in Assyrian inscriptions in the 9th century BC. Starting from 714 BC, the Urartu state began to decline and finally dissolved in 590 BC when it was conquered by the Medes. Before 1200 BC, there were 4 Greek-speaking settlements in Anatolia. Starting around 1200 BC, the coast of Anatolia was settled by Aeolian and Ionian Greeks. Numerous important cities were founded by these colonists, such as Miletus, Ephesus, Halicarnassus, Pergamon, Aphrodisias, Smyrna, now Izmir, and Byzantium, now Istanbul, the latter founded by Greek colonists from Megara in c. 667 BC. Some of the most prominent pre-Socratic philosophers lived in Miletus. Thales of Miletus is regarded as the first philosopher in the Greek tradition and is also historically recognized as the first individual known to have engaged in scientific philosophy. The Armenian-oriented dynasty, which included parts of what is now eastern Turkey, began in the 6th century BC. In northwestern Turkey, the most significant tribal group in ancient Thrace was the Odrysians. Founded by Teres, all of modern-day Turkey was conquered by the Persian Achaemenid Empire during the 6th century BC. The Greco-Persian Wars started when the Greek city-states on the coast of Anatolia rebelled against Persian rule in 499 BC. Queen Artemisia I of Halicarnassus, which was then within the Achaemenid satrapy of Caria, fought as an ally of Xerxes I, king of Persia, against the independent Greek city-states during the Second Persian invasion of Greece in 480 BC. Anatolia fell to Alexander the Great in 334 BC, which led to increasing cultural homogeneity and Hellenization in the area, which met resistance. Following Alexander's death in 323 BC, Anatolia was subsequently divided into smaller Hellenistic kingdoms, all of which became part of the Roman Republic by the mid-1st century BC. Hellenization accelerated under Roman rule, and by the early centuries of the Christian era the local Anatolian languages and cultures had become extinct, being largely replaced by ancient Greek language and culture. From the 1st century BC up to the 3rd century AD, large parts of modern-day Turkey were contested between the Romans and neighboring Parthians through the Roman-Parthian Wars. Galatia was an ancient area in the highlands of central Anatolia inhabited by the Celts. The term
back to my cold apartment. Distance sucks, but at least I'm still with you. White out skies, middle November. You and I, flights to wherever. I don't mind as long as it's with you. As long as it's with you. At the festival that we met at, where you were just a face in a crowd. And now I can't imagine me with anybody else. As we close out the night underneath the lilac sky. Summer high, met you in August. New York, back to my cold apartment. Distance sucks, but at least I'm still with you. White out skies, middle November. You and I, flights to wherever. I don't mind as long as it's with you. As long as it's with you. As long as it's with you.
Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change. Familiar was the sound of your voice as I continue to walk on by. It has been a year and now I'm living on the line. It has been a year and now I'm thinking what's mine, that I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you. That I'm better off right here without you.
I hope you're not planning to waste my time. To my surprise, that was her reply. Now we vibe. It's been a while and such a